Is everything on? Recording?
I think so.
Camera's on? Timer set?
Timer set. Hello, and welcome back to Burning Boat Business, and as promised, with a new intro.
Woo!
This is the podcast where two friends who started a business together sit down to argue, laugh, and figure shit out. Nothing's off limits. Let's start the burn.
Woo! Oh no! Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, my boy. I'm sorry.
It's okay, little boy. I don't know. It was so hard to come up with something, so I thought I had to do something flashy.
It was so bad up to the
that
deodorant
part.
Was great. I think you saved it. That turned it around. Definitely Cliff Bar worthy. Wow, I didn't even see that. My eyes were closed. I just heard it.
Oh my boy. Yeah, I just thought. Yeah, it needed something.
That's something.
So I came up with this weird little last line, which is "start the burn." I have no idea what it means.
Start the burn. I thought you were like lighting that. That was a lot.
A lot.
That was a lot to take in.
Whew. Yeah, it's almost Halloween, so we have a pumpkin. Is that something you do at all, or are you like weirded out by the fact that I carved a pumpkin?
No, I think it's a sort of a relationship thing to do.
Yeah. Actually, I did this by myself just for the podcast.
Did you?
No. No, we did it over the weekend.
Yeah, I grew up doing it. I mean, it's just like,
it's funny.
It'd be
it's
weird
like,
if I just did it by myself. I feel like.
I'm not at all American, but I feel so American.
But you are,
because I like trick or treated as a kid, carved pumpkins,
yeah,
did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I had candy as well.
You had candy? I remember.
Like, I meant like I was gonna put candy out.
Oh.
Got these little
vegan.
Vegan bat candies.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you probably wouldn't like them.
Oh, licorice! Yay!
Well, I like it.
I think that's a very loose term of the word candy.
I think there's some in there that are fruit flavored.
Yeah, it's like
let's pass.
Couple things there. It's like the Colorado Haribo mix, right?
The what?
The Colorado Haribo mix.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one?
No, what's that one?
It's kind of the shit one. It's like the adult one, that has
Small
licorice
one?
and it has like a array of things, right? And of course, there's gummy bears in there as well. But my dad used to buy that one, and then it would be like, fuck, there's like 4 options for me in there.
Why did he get that one?
Because he likes licorice, or
okay, I see.
I think it's a more adult, like, rather than getting a bag of sweets, it's more of a mixed variety of Haribo, I guess.
I like variety packs. I mean, my favorite one used to be a variety pack, but now I can't eat it because it's not vegan.
I think I know what I like, and it's those sour antipasti Haribo.
Pasta fruta.
Pasta fruta.
We ate those on my trip.
Yeah, I was so psyched to eat
crazy.
It at the top of
and they got all like,
ugh,
they hurt your tongue.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
Yeah,
like waking up early, long drives, going to bed late, kind of snack.
And you said you were gonna eat them once we got to the top of the mountain.
I saved that pack the entire time,
but we never got to the top.
We never got to the top.
Back to Halloween. Are you doing anything tomorrow? Anything special? Dressing up?
No.
Nope.
No way.
Me neither. The only thing that we do, which I'm psyched about, is once a year I get to convince Phoebe to watch a scary film.
Oh.
She never watches
that's
horror
fun.
films. So I got to think of something good. You got any suggestions?
You already watched Get Out, right?
I watched it yet.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Oh.
I tried to get her to watch The Shining the other day.
Oh, that would be good.
Nope.
That one's not even that scary.
It's not that scary, but I want to watch something like really like a horror film, either like a stupid.
I'm trying to think.
Horror film or something that's actually scary.
I was never a big horror. I think I used to
huge horror.
I used to just say that.
I love it.
It's like that's the kind of movie. When you're 14, you're like,
It's cool.
If you're with a girl or something, you're like,
Cool.
oh, let's watch a
Exactly.
horror
This is
movie.
exactly
because
why I got into
it
it.
forces you to snuggle a little.
Yeah. Oh, you're scared. I'm not.
Yeah. Or you say you are scared. So
I'm fucking terrified. I can't fall asleep every night, but I pretend like I like this stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not that crazy into it. Although I do
I'll
like
figure something
sort
out.
of like thrillers, you know. But I was gonna say about Halloween.
Oh yeah.
I remember in Germany when it first sort of became a thing. Like,
yeah.
like
It's pretty new, isn't it?
because you used to go to the American consulate, you know, which my mom was like half a part of or whatever. I don't know.
Explain what that is.
The American consulate?
Yeah, like within context of why you would be there.
Oh, well, I mean, every major city is going to have some sort of embassy or consulate
Yeah.
that is technically, I think it's actually really interesting. I think they kind of are governed by their own, like that. You wouldn't follow German law on the American consulate. You would actually follow American law, which
Yeah.
means it's kind of like American land a little
It's
bit.
American soil.
Right.
Yeah.
Which meant you could also buy all the American candy and
Yeah.
all this stuff there. But you had to be either under a certain age, I think, or you had to have friends on the consulate that could essentially let you in. But that was only to get into the booster store to get like snacks and stuff. You needed somebody's like card or something.
Yeah.
But you can technically just walk on the consulate. I don't fucking
There's
know
no
what I'm
gates.
talking about.
You can just walk in.
Huh?
There's no gates or anything. You just
There's
walk
no
in.
gates, but I don't know. At least as a kid, to me, it was understood you had to go with somebody who lived on the
I
consulate.
didn't go very often.
So me and Ben Clark would go, right?
Yeah.
And then we would do the full round, and then we would change costumes, and we would do the full round again. And to me, it was just insane how much candy you would get because it was just starting in Germany, which meant like, I don't know, like 2 houses on the entire block would do it, and everybody else would have like 9 on a sign written on their door, like, don't ring. 9. Or people would just leave out a candy bowl, right, on the front doorstep. And it's like, of course, the first kid who came just took all the candy, just left the bowl. I remember a girl giving us carrots. Somebody gave me money once because that was our like next door neighbors. They were like, oh, what is this? What? And my mom kind of explained it, and they're like, okay, he can have like 50 cents or something. And I was like, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go buy my own candy.
Lady gave me a toothbrush once. But now I think it's pretty accepted everywhere. It's pretty
The place where I lived in Frankfurt was like at the end of a street, so there's like a lot of kids who would always play there.
Okay.
And so our house was always like.
Was this the one in Oberurzel?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a lot of kids on Halloween.
And a lot of American families living there too, right?
I think now more so than when I was there.
Okay.
But regardless, there's a bunch of kids who always rang the doorbell. And I remember, I don't know if I was in 11th or 12th grade or something, but I would dress up in something and stuff myself with like straw.
Yeah.
And then sit with a big bowl of candy outside the door. And then like I looked like a scarecrow.
That's good.
And scare the shit out of all the kids.
That's good.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and then you go to college, and I never really celebrated. I thought it was weird. I mean, it's definitely weird.
We
in New
did
York,
it
too.
at university in the UK.
Oh, people did it.
People like go hard on the parties. You make like Jello shots that are orange. That's like about as far as stuff goes.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone, watch out. Better call in sick for work the next day. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I think it weirds me out that people like to dress up, and I'm not saying it's bad or but just my opinion is it's a little much for me personally.
It totally depends, man. It's
a little much
on the context. It's like right now, Phoebe's at work and she's being forced to dress up as a Kardashian, and she hates it.
Yeah, I would hate that too.
All the girls in the office decided that's what was going to happen. So she was just given a person.
I just wouldn't do it.
She just wore something she'd normally wear.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And like put her hair up in a different way.
That's good.
But refused to do her makeup or anything.
Okay.
I wonder how it's going.
What, so you're going to dress up like Kanye?
How would I do that?
Yeah, wear like America is Great Again. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on past Halloween. I mean, unless you've got any like scary stories you want to talk about, anything freaky that's happened.
No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in the supernatural.
Neither do I.
Again, I think it's weird.
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Supernatural and ghosts. Me and Phoebe were watching Unsolved on YouTube. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's like a BuzzFeed thing.
Okay.
Where these two guys, one who's like convinced that ghosts are real, and one who's like, obviously it's not real.
Yeah.
Go into haunted houses and like stay the night. It's really funny. Freaks her out though.
Does she believe in ghosts?
Phoebe, no, but she just gets scared.
Do you believe in magic?
I believe in illusion. I don't believe in magic.
So you don't believe in ghosts either?
No.
Yeah, that would have been a weird combination of personality traits.
No, of course I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts the same way that I don't believe in the Easter Bunny. You know, like I can't prove it, but
It's on the burden.
definitely nothing.
Not my burden.
Nothing there
to disprove.
to make me convinced or even slightly intrigued.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to something a little bit more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main thing this week was that, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of months ago, we talked about losing the drone on the podcast.
No, we is very generous here.
Our good friend Robin lost her drone.
Yeah.
And this week we replaced it.
Yeah.
And the day it got replaced, we lost something else. Arguably even more
Oh my
valuable.
god, I totally forgot about it. I've repressed it.
Some asshole stole our precious burning boat bicycle.
I
the
cannot
Burnmobile.
believe it. I'm only smiling because I'm uncomfortable with the whole situation.
It is uncomfortable.
And
Do you want to explain what happened?
here's what happened, right? And it starts off with a horrible, what do you call it? Little story that's going to show how bad my character really is to start it off. I don't know. Basically, we were riding bikes together, right? Why did we even have the bikes?
We weren't riding bikes together. We had just done a job and we're going to the climbing gym
Right,
with all our
right,
gear.
right.
We're not just out riding bikes together.
No, but we were at, in my head, I'm like, okay, we're riding bikes next to each other. We had just filmed a job. It was my idea. I said the night before, why don't you bring your bike? Like, that's actually the perfect situation. And you're like, oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'll bring the bike, and then we'll go climbing afterwards.
Yeah.
Because rarely do we get to go climbing during the day, and it's kind of when the climbing gym is the most empty.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's very nice.
An
time
empty
to be
gym
there.
is the best.
Right. So, we finish our job. We're riding our bikes, and at some point, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna speed ahead, and I need to pay.
Oh, this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need.
I don't think speeding ahead is the right context. I think more that the wind kind of pulled me back significantly. It's like biking around with a sail and you have that huge box in front of it.
My God,
I was going
the bike
so
ride
slow.
there.
I was on gear one.
Let's go all the way back. That morning, riding the bike to Souls to shoot that little bit.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was going downhill and I wasn't going anywhere. It was so windy that I had to pedal to go downhill. And the people going uphill, because you're riding behind them, obviously, they were just like standing still. Like people were like, oh, like, what did it take you 5 minutes to get up that tiny? It was insane.
Context, normally takes me 20 minutes to bike to this place. It took me 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I even, I was like turning at one point and I was like, oh my God, I can't turn because the wind was pushing me so hard to go straight, right? I was like, what is going on? What? Anyways, we get there, right? I arrive. I did start pumping a little early just because I thought in my head, I need to pay for my new month's membership. So I'll just get there a little bit before you.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'll do my membership and then help you carry the stuff in.
So
as I go, right, I swipe in and I'm like, oh my God, I don't actually have to pay for the new month yet. It's tomorrow. It's the next day. So I'm like all excited. And I'm like, I guess I'll, it's cold also. So I'm like warming up. I'm like, I'll just, get dressed, whatever, start stretching. Completely forget that we have all the equipment with us, right? And then I see you like 5 minutes later walking down the stairs with all the equipment. And I felt so bad because I was just like relaxed and stretching and whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And you're like, oh no, it's fine. I can carry it all.
I wasn't even annoyed because I was so excited because we just got an email saying we got a new job.
Right. We got that too.
For the price that we wanted to get it at. So
yeah.
that's why I was so excited.
New contract. You were super excited. I was feeling bad. I was like, how did I forget that it's just a lapse in memory.
Easy mistake.
I'm playing it up.
It really was not a big deal.
Yeah.
No one cares.
And then we go climbing.
Great session.
For an hour or two. No, definitely like 2 or 2.5 hours maybe.
Yeah, 2.5.
Long session. And we go outside. And the freaking bike is gone.
I always park the bike in exactly the same place, so that there's one window in this entire building.
Window.
There's one window where people are constantly walking in and out of changing rooms, and so I feel like it's the safest place to park it, because the climbing gym is out in the middle of, like, I don't know, it's not really a sketchy area. It's just more of like an industrial area where there's not really residential.
Yeah, it's not
housing.
residential at all.
It's like there's a lot of vans that drive around out there.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like
It's like a shipyard.
prime territory for, I don't know, going around and stealing some bikes.
Yeah, the theory is, according to some people, is that, basically there's so many fucking bikes in Copenhagen to begin with. And like stealing bikes here is a big issue, right?
Yeah.
People getting their wheels stolen, people getting their bikes stolen, whatever. I don't have any problem with it because my bike isn't worth shit. So I know nobody's going to steal it anyways. Famous last words. And then what people do is they'll drive around trucks apparently and
like little
literally
vans.
hop off the truck, grab your bike, throw it on the
lift
truck.
it.
Yeah. Because it's a massive bike. It's like going outside and not seeing it. It's like,
It's weird. Yeah, it's really bizarre. It's a weird feeling.
where did the...
I mean, there's a couple of things that I should have done to avoid, or at least make this more difficult.
Yeah, definitely not the safest.
So you have to get these massive locks for these bikes, because
Right.
they are very popular and people do want to steal them.
And I honestly didn't realize till afterwards, like, how...
Valuable.
Like, I told
yeah.
Armin, and he's like, yeah, it's a fucking, like, dollar sign on a...
Yeah. Exactly. With like chained up.
Yeah.
And so I got the smallest of the regulation sized locks. I think they come in 3 sizes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was not about to drop 2,000 kroner on the big lock.
Yeah, which is like
I got
over
the-
$200.
It's crazy. I got like
For a
lock
bike lock.
for like 90 euros or something.
Yeah.
And I was gearing up to buy a second one, slightly bigger, so that I could always lock it up twice.
Right.
Once on the back wheel, and then once on the front wheel to something else. Always something else.
Right.
Because if you only got on the back wheel, you could actually just lift up the back part and just roll the thing away.
Yes.
And so you can easily get in and out without anyone really seeing anything.
Except for the fact that you're rolling a bike with a massive lock on it, but...
Second thing I should have done, should have marked the bike itself.
Yeah.
Put some kind of stickers on
Yeah.
it, make it original, make it stand out as a one of a kind.
But they totally make sense in hindsight now.
It does make sense.
Where I was
and
like-
these are all things that I was genuinely planning on doing. It's just the past couple of weeks we hadn't really used the bike much because
No.
the jobs we did happened to just not require a bunch of equipment. So we were traveling by bus and by train, and we just didn't really use it. So it kind of got put on hold.
There's basically a distance at which it doesn't make sense to use the bike because it would require like
Yeah.
an hour and a half pedaling out somewhere. And then it's like, well, we could also just take the bus and take the most essential equipment,
Yeah.
make things a little bit easier.
And the third thing that I was going to do, but didn't,
Right.
was put a little tracker on it.
Yeah, that would have been epic.
It's so easy to say now, but I should have done that.
Yeah, and in hindsight now you see all these bikes with the stickers and they're all customized, and now I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like it looked like shit to me to begin with, and I was like, why would you do that to your...
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
But it makes it, people don't
Totally,
want to steal
then
it
it's
because
like-
it stands out. And people
Yeah.
go, hey, that's my bike.
Yeah.
You can't really sell it online.
No, and even
It's-
this one, I mean, we're hot on the trail. I'm checking every day for
Yeah.
this bike to show up somewhere.
We're basically following a bunch of Facebook pages where people post secondhand bikes for sale.
Yeah.
Some websites as well that I keep looking at.
Oh, and the sweet, I've had dreams about finding this person, right? And how I would go about kind of luring them, right? And we both go there. And then we kind of have this like very confrontational, I don't know, the whole thing really actually like to be a little bit serious, it kind of like messed with me in a weird way because I was just like in a bad mood for the past like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, why am I like in a bit of a dip or whatever? And then I like that feeling of like that bike being stolen, and just I hadn't been angry in a long time, and like immediately afterwards I jumped on my bike and started biking around the whole area trying to.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what I was thinking. I was like,
Dude,
is this guy going to be...
You worried me because you were all heated and all like, I'm going to go out and look. And I was like, okay. And you're already kind of pedaling off.
Yeah.
And you come back like 25 minutes later.
Because I fucking went down every road.
I know.
I realized it's a shipping wreck. So you're going down these streets where there's just like trash on boats and like so many Christiania bikes around. I followed like 3 people that I was like, oh, that's not ours. That's not ours. That's not ours.
I was imagining that this guy had just stolen the thing and was like biking off with it. And
that's what I was worried about.
Guy.
I was like, what if this got stolen 5 minutes ago? We're going to be so pissed if we didn't just at least try to go out quickly and, see
I genuinely
like,
thought that you had tackled the guy and people had called the police.
Oh my God, I
and
wish.
that you were like holding on to this guy until the police showed up.
I was ready to jump from my bike into the carriage of the Burnmobile, and I was like picturing myself like fist fighting this guy, right, while he's riding the bike. No, but it was just it's what was frustrating. I think that right afterwards, what really frustrated me is that like we had been putting in so much work for this company, like so many hours, so much of everything.
And we'd just been working for 2.5 weeks straight without taking any days off.
Right, and it's all like to start making money and blah blah blah, so that we can support ourselves and all this stuff. And then this fucking asshole comes and takes this shortcut in life and just steals something from somebody else, which is so weird to me for some reason. Even after living in New York and LA, I've never really had too many experiences with stuff getting like straight up stolen. I mean, I don't own too many like valuable things that but still, it's just such like a sickening, like in your stomach you feel it, and it's just like a horribly, I don't know. And then it kind of affects everyone else that you interact with for the rest of the day. Because I was biking around even afterwards when you took the taxi, and then I still biked around for a little bit. It's like looking around, and like I was suspicious of everybody. Like if somebody would like close their door just as I was riding by, I was like, what? Why did you just close your? Are you? And I would like swing around and like look, and it's just a very weird.
I like right when it happened.
That was my.
I became very aware of how upset I felt and how that wasn't going to do anything, and that I could stay in a horribly negative mood for the next week until I kind of forgot about it, or I could just kind of get over it now, which is not to say that like it's not really upsetting, but I was just very aware of like I just don't want to be upset about this because everything is going so well right now. I don't want to let this ruin the general feeling. And so I very quickly was just like,
Is that a ghost coming out of you?
Something. And then that was kind of it. And I kind of like very deliberately said, I'm just not going to be super wound up by it because it's not going to help.
No, it's not. It's really not.
If staying super focused on it and really... What the...
Oh my God.
What was that?
My AirPod just flew out of that case. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Next thing breaks. Sorry.
I mean, that leads nicely into why I think we should talk, why we're talking about it.
Where'd my AirPod go? I'm sorry.
I think it went completely underneath.
Completely under?
Yeah, I think I see it.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Wow, that was intense. I'm so sorry.
So
You off like that.
Lingering on the fact that someone stole the bike and getting really upset about it and worrying about how we're gonna get by without it.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Just wasn't worth it. But what is something valuable to be learned is that we need to insure all of our equipment.
Yeah.
Because another one of these things happening would seriously affect the business.
Yeah, we've been lucky that well, not lucky. It's such a weird, but you can appreciate the fact that, you know, it always comes down to like, well, if the camera and the lenses were stolen, or
Money aside,
no, we would be screwed.
yeah.
If that case got started, like the company would be like, well, what are we gonna film on?
Yeah, I don't
We'd
know.
figure it out.
Yeah,
But
no,
that
of
would be a
course.
massive blow. That would be like,
yeah,
oh my
exactly.
god,
It would require stuff to change.
right.
This we're able to move past
It's still
and just continue what we were doing. It's a little more of a hassle in certain situations where we can't just put everything in the bike and get it all to one place.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to lug stuff around. We might have to not be able to bring everything in case we might need something.
Yeah.
Which might have its benefits as well. But we need to insure everything. Get an insurance of everything under the company so that when stuff breaks, if something else is stolen, whatever,
I agree.
we can't afford it to happen. Basically, that's, I think, the tipping point, right?
I agree.
If you can afford one loss without insuring stuff, then it's like a debate whether you need it or not. If you can't, you need to get the insurance.
Right.
It's like, it's not worth the risk.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
But on a broader scale, definitely let's get insurance.
Yeah.
I think the guy from the rock climbing gym had said he might know some people we could talk to.
My mom's cousin works in insurance,
Oh,
so
that would be good.
I'm going to contact her.
Okay.
But business is going good.
Yeah, but business is going great. On a much broader scale, dealing with that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's so it's forcing me to look at myself as well, because I think in a lot of situations I'm very trusting. Like, I'm not big about, like, even when I had my car, I wouldn't be super butthurt about like locking the car or like locking even your apartment or certain things, you know. It just kind of runs past me, and I always just assume like, oh, nobody's really gonna, you know, like I've left stuff and this is like so stupid probably, but I've left stuff like in the rock climbing lockers that's super valuable.
Yeah.
My phone, AirPods, I left the laptop in there before, and I never even thought twice about it without a lock. And I was like, nobody would steal this here. It's like a rock climbing gym. Like,
And I really don't think people would.
I don't
Honestly,
think so either. So
I really don't think people would.
it's kind of where I'm getting to, is that like it's a weird balance of like accepting that no, you do need to be responsible, and that was stupid of us.
It was definitely stupid.
There's no arguing that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to become that calloused person.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
see, that's like, oh, like everything needs to be so particular and always safe, and everybody could be stealing from something from you at any time, and like I don't want to be that guy either. So it's kind of a weird to settle back in, right? And not be overly paranoid, but also, look at it and be like, hey, we need insurance. We should probably be, I don't fucking know, writing our phone numbers on every piece of equipment just in case anything ever gets.
And that's that.
And that's that.
And then we're good.
And we've learned from it.
Exactly. It's like, that's what we're going to do. And
It only took
moving on.
us an expensive drone and a really expensive bicycle to learn our lesson. So we're,
That'll be all.
we'll
We'll
make a bunch of money and just end up in no profit at the end of the year anyways.
because we lost our stuff.
Because we had to learn our lesson the hard way.
No, but going off of the business is going well.
It's great.
We've gotten new jobs even just since last week.
New jobs.
There's more potential. What we've been talking about is the idea of kind of leaving December open in terms of not scheduling work during the month of December, so that we can try and focus on getting a rough cut of your feature-length film and getting a rough draft of my feature-length film.
That is correct. That is right.
And I think it's definitely a really valid point.
Thank you.
I think we should do it.
I do too. I really do.
I think we have a whole month until December to finish up all the current projects we're working on,
Right?
to potentially get some jobs lined up for January.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of things here and there during the month of December that we can absolutely schedule in.
Yeah.
because we have some ongoing jobs.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, because we don't need to keep like going crazy on we need more jobs. We have kind of done a significant amount of work that we actually are able to do that.
Yeah. I think all those things are right. And there's only, I think we've said this so many times, is that it's really hard to work on a project, or like a sort of self-motivated project or a big project, kind of in very short intervals. Like, oh, you got a couple days here, and then in 2 weeks you got a couple days here. And
I'm tempted to say that it is not productive.
it's definitely possible. I think here's
That's why I didn't say impossible. I said not productive.
I see. Yeah. I mean, I think my theory on it is, I did think about this a little, is, I used to work in LA, and then after work I would come home, and then most nights I would work on my script.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, those two things were so separate to me in my head.
Yeah.
It was like, even though they're both to do with film and it's really the same thing, it's like one is just work, which is a totally different part of my brain, and then one is pure like creativity and passion and joy and like what I want to be doing. So it was very easy to like separate those two. Now I feel like actually work and the feature film are both from a place of passion and creativity, and they kind of use the exact same parts of my brain.
It's exactly that.
So it kind of fucks with me when it's like we do work and then I go home and I try to do my own thing, because it's nothing. It's like it doesn't feel like, oh, now I finally get to do this.
You're not switching
It feels
gears.
more like I'm just going to keep working.
Yeah.
And then that works to a point, which is kind of...
It works sometimes.
I think... Yeah, it definitely works, but it's just, you kind of burn out. I mean, you kind of, it's just like, it just becomes one big grind, and you kind of lose a little bit of joy, or like, that's kind of the problem I'm having right now, I think, which was just a little bit of, like the spark has gone a little bit, just because I've just been pushing it like a little bit too hard. So I've been very focused in the past, 2-3 days. Really, I've gotten stuff done. I haven't gotten anything amazing done. And I've really just been trying to relax. Even though I'm flying, it's kind of bad timing because I'm flying to see my mom on Thursday, and I'm going to get a break then as well. But it kind of just hit me like 2-3 days ago. I think the bike had something to do with it as well. And it just kind of, I just needed that break. But I feel great now. I feel like I just needed that. It's like, do something totally different. That's why I did the tutorial. I'll just hint at that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I think more than just it being the same parts of the brain and that both are a passion thing, it's also that like they're both very personal. It's like, yeah, we're making a video for another company, but that's our business. It's like, it's our thing. It's what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, if you end the day, but you have these like thoughts of, oh, but I could still send that email, or that would probably help to tweak that video, or it's still like ongoing. It's like, I feel like if you're working for another production company, at the end of the day, it's like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to be thinking too much about those projects.
Yeah, not too much. It is true.
Dude, you need to leave that thing.
Why?
You have literally
Look, I'm testing out all the
moved it
formations.
like every 10 seconds.
I'm like,
you're not moving.
That's me.
You are fiddly as fuck.
I know. I gotta fiddle with
It is
things.
stressing me out.
I need something. Okay, I'll just
Tell
sit here and listen.
me about this tutorial thing.
No, where were you? You were headed somewhere interesting.
No.
You weren't. What
Well,
did
I
you
was just
say?
adding
Thought
to
that was
your
interesting.
I was adding to what you were saying about it being they're very similar jobs, and that it's our business, it's our baby, it's our thing. It's hard to not be thinking about it.
It is.
It really needs to be turned completely off for there to be room for something else to make its way.
Yeah, and I can't multitask. Even last night,
no one can multitask.
You were.
It's a myth.
I don't know, but you were writing an email right at like 6, and I had to like call you at 7 or something, is because like I don't feel like I can relax either because you're
No,
constantly
for
thinking
sure.
about it. And I'm like, what is he writing?
Yeah, for sure.
What? Finally called you. I'm like, are you fucking done with that email? Like, let's send it so that we can both relax. And I was like, how weird is that? Is that
No, it's
I can't
totally not
relax
weird
until
at all.
I'm not even doing anything. I'm just,
No, but you're still thinking about what is best to do.
Yeah.
And before it's been sent, it's still like there's still things to be changed.
yeah, you'd be mad the next day if you're like, shit. Well, we should have thought about that a little bit longer. And
Oh God, I think there's one thing in that email.
I don't even want to know.
Where I was like,
I don't want to know.
this morning I was like, oh fuck, should I have said that? Oh God, should I have said that? I don't know if I should. I think I should have said that. I think it's okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think specifically with emailing, it'll get easier. I had that.
That
with
was,
my-
I mean, that is not even, you can't even call that an email. That was
No,
like a
that was very
unique
specific.
situation. We'll talk about that on the
Yeah,
podcast.
next time.
No, but I actually did want to talk about this tutorial stuff that you're doing that I think is interesting. Tell me about it.
Listen, basically, I'll be releasing a video soon-ish. That's just a tutorial of me doing VFX, which is how I learned to do VFX, and I feel like it's, I don't know, just something to keep the channel going. It's also a community
For YouTube.
It's a community that I grew up in, whether I like that or not, right? And I feel like it's kind of come time where it's like, what's a little bit I've taken so much from that community, it's kind of my turn to give back a little bit.
So what are you adding?
Basically, I think what it ends up doing is that like a lot of people on YouTube or a lot of people who are learning basically just copy, and that's definitely the way to start learning. But I think some people would never progress onto the like, well, you're learning a set of tools, and then you kind of obviously at some point you know enough about the program or whatever that you can kind of just do your own things without having to constantly look up how do I do this one specific thing. And that's when it really becomes fun what you're doing. 'Cause I mean, just copying somebody isn't fun to begin with, right?
That's what we talked about the other podcast. The idea you start off by copying until you
Right.
feel like you've gotten an understanding of why that works enough that you can change it and make it your own
Exactly.
or build off of it.
Exactly. So I think, I don't know, I don't think there can ever be too many tutorials, because obviously it's just adding another tutorial of something. It's always going to be quite specific what you're doing, but it just adds to the pool of what people can watch. And hopefully if it is entertaining, it gets some kid who's minorly interested in that, to try it out, whatever. That's what happened to me. And now like 8 years later, that has a big effect, obviously. So that's,
I
don't
what I like about it, the whole idea of doing tutorials, because I immediately am like, okay, well, what can I do?
mm-hmm.
What kind of tutorial could I make? Because I've also tried to make a tutorial about editing and stuff.
Yeah.
We made like a big list of things like a couple of months ago with
Yeah.
like what we could do tutorials on. Is like what I think the stuff we're producing now is of a high enough quality that we actually could start to move into that, like teaching people how to do what we do, but also like you were talking about selling, or giving out for free stuff we've shot that anyone could use to edit with or use and implement into their work.
And that's for a lot of people, like the reason they don't even want to get into it, I feel like, or like one of the things I loved is when somebody did a tutorial and said, here's the footage, here's the backlight, here's all the elements.
Yeah.
Just have it.
Yeah.
Of course people copy it, but people still know who originally made the thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like that person doesn't have to go out, find a camera, shoot something, kind of recreate the whole thing for themselves. It can be a very fun sort of little activity to do. That's super beneficial. That's the other thing. Specifically with After Effects, I feel like that is so sought after nowadays that you can edit and do your own graphics and do some compositing and do some coloring and do some, you got to be a master of like all these different programs. That is just important to know how those programs work.
I'm definitely feeling that more and more.
Yeah.
Like if you're not just sitting next to me and I'm like, I can't do that one thing I wanted to do because I can't just send you the footage.
It's
for
weird.
you to do a little effect on it. It's like a simple thing.
No, it's the same with me. I'll be in Premiere and I'll be like, I can probably just do this in Premiere. And it's like, it's so limiting when you know what else is out there.
Mm-hmm. But it's also a good way of trying out another entry point to gaining a little bit of an audience, which is ultimately
exactly.
our goal on YouTube. And
Yeah.
we ended season 1 of the YouTube channel. This is not season 2. This is just something in between. But I think
we did say we would try to put out content.
Yeah. And I think let's do it properly.
Yeah. It's definitely, I also want to say, like, it's still entertainment. I can say as much as I want,
Sure.
like, I'm trying to educate the youth or whatever. I think that's definitely, like, a motivational part of it, right? But the thing itself is totally, like, I mean, you've seen a little bit of it. It's like,
funny.
It's like a meme, basically, right? And it's like, I'm just trying to add something funny, something, like, informative, whatever, not take anything too seriously.
You were even talking about the idea of something like live streaming.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but we need an audience for that.
Which I think is so... That to me is exciting, because that's kind of where entertainment is heading, I think, in a big way, is people live streaming what they're doing. I mean, obviously with gaming, but even now with, like, poker players are live streaming themselves playing online. And I think there's a little bit of a market for something like live stream editing.
Yeah,
because real time follow professional editors.
Yeah.
And see what they're doing, and to gain an audience that way as well.
I'd be curious if it's got to exist already.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I just don't think it's like the best of the best doesn't exist yet, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
if someone knows of that, I'd love to hear about it, because
me
I
too.
haven't heard of that before. I also haven't looked for it. So.
I wonder, the main thing I think is, like, do you have the right to show the footage? Because I think what would be the most fun is that we get a job for a client, we shoot it, and then you kind of sit down, and you're not even trying to finish anything. You could just live stream for 4 hours, get ideas from people, which I think is, like, the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the idea of doing that. I
right?
really like the idea of doing that. If we could have, like, a multi-camera setup where you could, I don't know how advanced this live streaming stuff is yet, but imagine if we had camera on you, camera on me, both of our screens would be recording at the same time.
Yeah.
And you could tune in to either of us or get a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And so you could you could follow along live.
It's definitely possible. I mean, I know.
And see what we're doing, and we could, like, people could learn that way.
Yeah.
From us learning as we go, because it's very much a learning experience when we're editing. Every time it's different. There's no formula.
Yeah, no.
It's each project is totally unique.
But you learn something, like, I'm a total nerd, and I've definitely watched, I think I've watched, like, a 5-hour video of someone just editing.
I mean,
like, just watching for 5 hours as someone edits. Specifically for me, it was to learn the program and all the shortcuts and stuff. I just felt like, okay, here's a professional.
learn the workflow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
You got to restart the camera?
No, we're good.
Yeah, it's probably a decent way to learn. And it's not that difficult. I definitely know it's possible, because some of the podcasts I listen to occasionally, I've never watched them stream, but they say, like, hey, we're live on whatever.
You can go live on just YouTube, yeah.
I haven't explored that world at all.
Me neither.
So
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah,
because I don't think it would be such a big commitment.
No.
Like with this podcast, it's become routine. It's become part of our week. I'm not saying we don't put effort into it, but it doesn't.
It's gotten easier.
Yeah, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love recording these.
Yeah.
And I think that making tutorials and stuff like that could be an addition to that in the same format, because I think we do quite well with that. Just
longer form.
Yeah. A little bit more raw, not edited together.
Yeah.
Because I think what we came to the conclusion was, if we're going to be spending hours and hours and hours on video content, it should be for either our films or our work.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to be putting a bunch of hours into, like, elaborate YouTube episodes that are 8 minutes long.
No.
But
unless the time comes where we're like, oh my God, people want to see more of this.
Yeah. I'm just talking about right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, it's
so
nothing special.
When's this thing coming out?
I mean, the main thing is trying to figure out a formula. And what I'm trying to do right now is, like, well, basically I recorded the whole thing, and not even the second half, I want to say, like, the last quarter of it didn't get recorded. I think because my computer didn't have enough disk space to
Yeah,
hold the screen
yeah.
recording. Basically, it's such a weird, like when you start something new, it's like you're trying to figure out, well, I gotta film my face and I gotta record myself,
Yeah.
my own voice.
Yeah.
Then I need to record the screen that I'm working on, and I need to record the audio from the screen that I'm working on. You know, especially if you're editing, you're gonna want to hear. And I just don't have the setup to do that. So I did like a very janky sort of, you know, record my face and audio and then pull a bunch of audio from what was happening on the computer and sort of record that with Soundflower, if people know what that is. Basically routes your audio directly back into your computer to save it. And then syncing everything together, right? Which just was this very like kind of long process. And I did all that, and then I realized, oh fuck, I don't have the last quarter. So I'll re-record that, which I need to do. But then like yesterday for a while, I kind of just brainstormed and I was like, well, is it better to have like an hour-long sort of episode it's not all over the place, but it's definitely, I mean, it's the first time I did it. I'm definitely not explaining certain things enough. So I'm like, well, I could go through and I can kind of write text. Just for anybody who's following, it's like, hey, this shortcut is Command-Shift-D, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, or do I just record another one and try to make it more like 30 minutes, right? And it's super informative and just try to get all the jokes in, and I'm still trying to figure it out, basically, what works better.
It's like with the podcast. You just got to start and just got to release the first
definitely,
one. And then see what works. And
but I have to record the second half anyways.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm like, well, should I just record the first half again?
Well, once you release yours, I will.
You'll take the next one?
I'll start working on mine.
Good.
And I mean, I'm always tempted to be like, oh, we should do it once a week, or we should do a certain amount. But for this one, let's just let it be.
Let it be.
And let's just be a little disciplined about it and see.
Let it be.
Without it being
it's definitely fun.
A psychotic schedule.
Yeah.
Where if you don't make it on time, you're in trouble. Let's just try and do it and see what happens.
And I think we should be receptive. That what I was really trying to do is I felt like I was hitting some sort of like wall a little bit on, I don't fucking know, Thursday or Friday. And that's when I started working on the tutorial. Because it's like that thing of like, you can kind of use procrastination in a productive way.
Yeah.
By kind of weirdly tricking yourself into doing something that you actually...
Well, switching tasks is very satisfying if you do it at the right time.
Right, exactly.
And
but it feels very unproductive. Like when I told you, you were like, no, just work on the other thing.
Well, no, you asked me what is more important.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
But yeah, I
get what you mean.
I felt a little bit like, fuck, after that whole conversation.
Yeah.
Then I didn't work on it at all that night because I was like, oh, this is totally like useless, blah, blah, blah. But then, I don't know, I saw you the next day or whatever, and you were like, oh, this is cool. I was like, yeah, it is cool.
It is cool.
I should work on this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, totally.
But it's a weird thing because you don't obviously want to procrastinate.
I think my point was that you were asking, should I finish the music video that we're working on, or should I work on this a little bit? Because what's really the hurry? And my point was because
maybe I misphrased it then. I meant to say more like, is it a total waste of time that I'm procrastinating doing something that isn't really relevant?
No, because we had talked about
but it's
tutorials.
Still right.
And I think we had agreed that that's something that was good to do.
Right.
Cool.
Cool.
I think the last thing I wanted to talk about, just real quick, was the idea of making hoodies.
Yeah.
To send to the clients we've worked with.
Yeah.
Like a little
Christmas present.
Little Christmas marketing present.
Weihnachtsmarkt.
We like the idea of giving the people we've worked with this year some little Christmas presents in the form of Burning Boat hoodies that we're going to design, print out, order, ship with a personal card.
Yeah. We're not going to go crazy because we don't really have money, but...
We're going to do as much as we possibly can without it getting out of hand.
Right. Yeah, I did look into...
Did you?
I went way deep.
What are we looking at?
Starting like a fashion, like...
Yeah.
You know?
Like a merch.
Like merch, yeah.
What are we looking at? How much are these hoodies?
Well, you kind of got to decide what route you want to go down. there's of course the sort of like, I think the easiest one is that you just print something on fabric, right? So you're not really like designing. You're not, I don't know, there's no extra step. It's basically, I'm sure a sweatshirt shows up from China and they print a bunch of stuff on it, and then you sell it. And that's sort of the cheapest way to get started. You don't really need any overhead, and you just order as many as you need and you give them out.
Do you know like how much around that would be?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I would imagine you could make sweaters. What would people sell that for? Like 40, 50 bucks or something? So they're probably getting it for 20 or 30.
I have no idea.
I don't know
I
either.
have absolutely zero clue.
Completely made that up.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. But the other option, which I find more interesting, is finding, and this one I've kind of just ripped off of Espen, is like finding a company that we could use their, what do you call it? Whoever they use to import material. I'm sure it's a little bit more ethical. Was there a fly? Piece of fuzz?
Do we know where the boy is?
It'd be in the living room.
Okay.
Arlo! Arlito! Oh!
Now I come across as an overprotective
helicopter
doggy
parent.
owner, but it's actually very cold.
Yeah.
And he's just transitioning, and I've found him
He's
a couple of
transitioning
times
from male to female.
sitting in the hallway, just shivering like a crazy thing. And so I want to make sure that he's not being dumb.
Yeah.
He's wearing a little fleece at the moment.
Yeah, put his fleece on.
You should be okay. Just wanted to check there.
Okay. What were we talking about?
So, you're going down the route of using another company's shirts.
Oh, right. Yeah, whoever they import material from, is gotta be. Let's not even get into the ethics of it. Let's just say the quality is probably going to be better.
Yeah.
So that would be fun, especially if they're already in Denmark. I mean, there's maybe we can talk to Phoebe, or there's so many like fashion companies out here.
Yeah.
But of course, that's a connection thing. Who fucking knows how easy that is?
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So to end this episode, I was trying to think of some questions to ask you, like we've done in the other ones.
Okay.
And I was like, well, let me change this up a little bit and let me try something different. So what I came up with
Oh my God.
was a little game where it's how well do you know me
Okay.
game. So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a series of questions.
How well do I know you?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask questions that normally you'd probably ask me.
Okay.
See if you can answer them for me.
Okay.
See how well you know me.
Okay.
And I haven't actually thought of the ansers, so I
no.
can just kind of tell
Okay.
you. I don't have like there's some answers that are just black and white, yes or no,
Okay.
or like
Those are the ones I'm more worried about.
yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some where I'm like, I'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay, so question number 1, what countries have I lived in?
Okay. Definitely Denmark,
Yeah.
Germany. Mm-hmm. I want to say like Austria,
Yeah.
Vienna, right? In Austria, yeah.
Yeah.
Then, what did you say? You grew up. Well, I think you grew up in Austria then. And then you went to. Yeah, that year. Where would you guys go? You guys would go. Is there any hint of anything Flemish going on? Like Netherlands or Belgium? Netherlands? Yeah, okay, I thought so. So you're in Netherlands because my roommate spent a lot of time in Belgium. I don't fucking know anymore.
Yeah, one more. This one you definitely know.
Really?
Yeah,
Definitely.
because you visited me there.
I visited you. When did I visit you?
The only
Oh,
time.
England. Yeah, London.
That's it.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking with your whole family.
No. That's
Got it, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay. Next one. Name 2 of my top 10 favorite films.
Boom.
2, any 2.
Any two. Any two. We got Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
and we've got Lord of the Rings.
No, that's one film.
And the second one.
Yeah, all 3 of those are one.
And we got Lord of the Rings behind the scenes.
That's not film.
Okay. we have. Trying to think like specifically you. Top films. I mean, obviously, Inception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have I ever been to Japan?
Don't care.
Okay.
What? No, what's the answer?
No.
No, yeah.
What is my biggest fear?
Your biggest fear is definitely your biggest fear would probably have to be. Let me say this. Your biggest. It's got to be like social situations, like yeah, I would say anything kind of awkward socially.
That's good. I'll go with that.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
What were you thinking? I was just thinking when your hands get sweaty.
I was thinking more along the lines of like existential fears and stuff like that.
Oh,
but that's definitely
good.
More of an immediate.
Sharks.
That's true. I don't know if like just open water in general.
Yeah, but why? If there was no sharks in there, there'd be nothing to be
No,
scared of.
it's about the like unknown.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like I don't know if there's something there. If I could see the shark, I feel like I'd be really scared, but it would almost get easier.
But would you be scared like in a submarine? Submarine?
No.
Yeah, see, so it's something about
because I'm
safe.
I know I'm in the submarine.
Right.
Oh, okay. What am I most proud of?
Definitely Arlo. I mean, Phoebe's pretty cool, but she's got nothing.
We can go with that.
Can we? Or let's get more serious. What are you the most proud of? Is that external or sort of like internal?
You can give an
Those
answer.
Are two very different.
Yeah, but if you have a good answer for either of them,
I would say internally.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, what are you the most proud of?
We can get serious.
I think probably in a general sense, I feel like you kind of made a decision. I don't know when, but it sounds like you stuck to that sort of like you're very consistently sort of what's the best way to put this? Like I think a lot of people might say, I want to start a company, I want to quit drinking, I want to take rock climbing seriously, I want to I don't fucking know. Maybe like the sense of like discipline, or maybe you're proud of that you've changed. That's what I'm trying to say. Over the past 2 years, that maybe that's really the.
Yeah, I think when I wrote the question, I was going to say something along the lines of specifically that I was able to. That I'm still in a relationship with Phoebe because of those things, and that it's all like one thing in a way, like you said, deciding to do this and this and this because I knew that was the right thing to do, and,
right?
like sticking to it, and that like I put a lot of work in. Both of us have to like still be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Not that we were ever really in a really bad place, but there's no way we would be where we are now if that hadn't happened.
Right.
So that's definitely something I'm proud of.
Huh.
What about externally?
Externally proud of. Externally, yeah. That's.
I don't know I don't see a difference between. That's why I'm curious what you were thinking when you said internal versus external.
External would be more like
an actual I've done this, like a specific thing, or my good looks.
Yeah,
or something like that.
No, definitely not that. Yeah, just sort of the your surroundings, I guess, is like externally. Like, I wouldn't say you're like bragging, but like when the actor came in here, everyone's like, "Oh, you guys have a really nice apartment." You're like,
I
"Yeah,
see.
that's nice."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we do.
Oh, okay, I see. Like like something. Okay.
Something more proud in the sense.
Well, then
of
it would be Arlo.
Huh?
That'd be Arlo.
Yeah.
He'd be my external.
He's also my proudest achievement.
What is my favorite food?
Now, is this pre-vegan or would it not actually matter with you?
That's interesting. Am I going to give away hints? I don't think it would matter.
You don't think it would matter?
No, I think if
That's the biggest lie I've
if I
ever
said
heard.
pre-vegan, I think it would be the same.
It's the
as
same.
it is now. Yeah.
Same. What is your favorite food? Well, it's definitely got to be. What do you really light up about? I never really I never see you too excited about food, to be honest. You say you like those sandwiches, but it's not like a big reaction out of you or something. I've never really seen you like.
I knew it would
Probably
be funny
pizza.
to ask.
Pizza?
Nah.
Really?
It's got to be Mexican food. In
Mexican
general.
food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, just jalapenos.
Yeah.
Especially more and more with the hot sauce.
Oh, I'm
Everything
glad.
that I can put
I'm glad. He's a changed man.
hot sauce and jalapenos on.
That's
I
what
get
you should be the
fucking
proudest
excited
of.
about.
Oh my God, I put some Frank's hot sauce on slices of tomato and avocado this morning for breakfast, as one does.
Yeah.
And delicious. I mean, it was so good, I almost made myself a second plate. I was like, this is so
No
damn
way.
good.
I got to get some more of that hot sauce that I bought in New York.
I
I miss it so much.
That one's good. That
Oof.
one's really good.
All
I
right.
don't even know what it's called.
It's like a habanero one, though.
No, you didn't. You didn't have that. You had the red one, the habanero one. Holy fuck, dude!
I think they're
You
both
put
habanero, but one's more spicy.
whatever. There's three hot sauces. There's the green one, the red one, and then there's the orange one.
I had the red one.
And the orange one comes out in like drips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like 2 drips.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm still not at that level yet.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God. I mean, I don't even know. That's a spicy one.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
If I won 50,000 euros, what would I spend it on? So you got to come up with an answer that I could be like, yeah, I agree with that.
You agree?
I don't have an answer.
You don't have an answer.
No.
For 50,000 euros, tax already paid.
Yeah, I just got to spend on whatever I wanted to.
Okay. I would say you should probably.
No, I would. Not
You
what I
would.
should. Like, what would I spend it on?
What would you spend it on?
Mhm.
Treats for Arlo.
Nope.
In part, not $50,000 worth of treats. $50,000 are we talking, or 50,000 kroner?
Euro.
Euro. Okay.
$4.
I was about to say if it's kroner, like
Whatever.
what, like a baguette or something.
A couple apples.
What would you? I feel like I don't know. I want to say invest, but you've never talked about that, so
So that's a bad answer. This is the how well do you know me game. What would Mads spend 50,000 euros on if you won it? What's an answer that
I don't think you would.
Mads would agree with?
I think you would be like. I think you would make them. You would get the money, and then you would, I'm trying to think.
Not a trick question. I don't.
I honestly don't know what you would do.
It's an interesting thought experiment to see how if you could think like me.
If I could think like you, I would say you didn't win the $50,000.
Okay.
And then you would be like, yeah, but actually it's a good thing because, and you would give this optimistic spin on how not winning the $50,000 in some bullshit way led you to like, oh, and this is why I have the company now. So actually that was the best case scenario. That's something
That's
you
the
would do.
right answer. There you go. And maybe you can do the same for me
For what?
on the next episode of Burning Boat Business.
Okay,
Ask questions to see how well I know you.
let's do it.
See you next time.
Mick, I'll be with you. I should stop saying that.
Yeah, because it's like, wait, do I add it in when I add it? Just going off of this intro thing, do you now need to use that intro? Or,
Oh, I'm going to use it.
Or are we doing like you gotta make a new one every time?
Um,
That's just too much effort.
well, I think we need to find a new intro. That's what I think.
I like, you mean like music wise?
No.
No.
Is that what you're thinking?
No.
Oh,
I was thinking we could add stuff to the music, like little
no, I
snippets
love the
and
music.
stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean though?
I've heard
Like,
a couple podcasts.
I am a
like,
cybernetic organism.
I am a cybernetic organism,
you could add-
living endoskeleton over the living tissue over endoskeleton.
Yeah, there you go.
I am a cybernetic organism, living tissue over endoskeleton. Oh, that's a terrible German accent.
But you know what I mean? Like adding stuff like that to the music could make it really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to try and do that?
Is that something you want to do?
Yeah.
You do that?
Just do that.
You do that?
I'll look at it. I'll look into it.
Yeah, and I think let's keep changing the intro until we're like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Okay.
Because I do think the original one is boring.
But it's like I almost forgot to say the new intro because it flows so well.
Right.
Hello, welcome to Burning Bad Business, the podcast where we
Hello and welcome to Burning Boat Business, the podcast where we discuss. It's just so like.
It's a bit boring. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and change it a little bit, but it's still kind of gotta like say what it's about. It can't just be like a fart joke.
Why can't we just say hello?
Hello, motherfuckers.
Because if we expand the intro song a little bit, we can not have the need to be like hello and welcome. We could just be like, and we're back. All right, this week I want to talk about
oh, like an intro that talks about what we talk about.
No, like not even. Why do we need an intro?
Oh, I see. So let's actually just make the thing an intro.
Let's
music.
just assume we had more than 40 listeners, right? If we have an audience, I think the song is enough to tie everything together. We don't need the extra pizzazz, maybe. Hello and welcome. So that one's boring. Yours was terrible. Just all around, except for the deodorant part. Maybe we can just snag that bit.
This is the podcast where two friends who started a business together sit down to argue, laugh, and figure shit out.
I mean, it's so bad.
Yeah. Nothing is off limits.
Was that in there?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I fell asleep while you were giving the intro, and then I think I woke up.
That's why it was a great intro.
You'll see my eyes are closed. We'll replay the clip now.
Friends who started a business together sit down to argue, laugh, and figure shit out. Nothing's off limits. Let's start the burn.
Woo! And I'm definitely sleeping until you blow the fire. I guarantee you.
And that's why I won the Cliff Bar.
All right.
I'm down to make it an intro that's contained within the music.
Yes.
Whether that be
but then
adding
we gotta go
a
through
little
all
bit
the shit and get sound bites and stuff.
We can take
Who's
stuff,
gonna do that?
We can take stuff from other things, right? Can't we?
What?
We can take stuff from like
we could also get an Arnold Schwarzenegger clip.
we could have like someone
Get to the chopper.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could do stuff like that, but not just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
I just mean it doesn't have to be all from our podcast.
Really?
I don't know.
Like what? Like what's one example? Oh my God, I'm turning into you.
What's
one example? Give me one example of that for my computer brain to process.
Calculating now. It could be, I don't know, it could be like Alex Honnold talking about his hands getting sweaty when he was climbing.
I'm just listening to his podcast with Joe Rogan.
Really? Is it good?
Yeah.
Or it could be Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about the universe.
Right, except that we've never had those people on our podcast.
I know.
But I think the idea is that it's like, oh, they were on the podcast, like Tim Ferriss. I assume all those people have
it's true.
been
it's
on.
Probably true. Then yeah, you're right. We should. That's what I wanted to talk about. Real quick, what I wanted to talk about was we should have more guests on this thing. We should start thinking about how we could invite people onto the podcast to talk about it. Like, we're working with souls. We're both vegan. Like in another time, maybe not right now because it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
like invite them on to talk about, that.
Yeah.
Invite Espen on to talk about that. We meet
Yeah.
some cool people. Be like, hey, we have a podcast. You want to come talk on it so we can grow it.
Yeah. That
is a cool.
That is a really good idea. I think we've talked about this
Yes.
a lot. It's a really, really good idea, and I think we should definitely go ahead and start doing things like this, especially
By the way,
in the Danish
for people
community.
who are thinking that maybe Taylor's talking with a slightly funny accent. He is.
In case you thought
Spoiler alert.
there was a Dane in the room all of a sudden,
it's his
there
Danish
is,
accent.
but it's not Mads. It's me. It is me, Taylor. I'm really excited to be here. Clocks are really loud. Yeah, let's get some guests. I just don't think. I think we should just have them on. Yeah, whenever possible. We don't know that many people. Because I was thinking if there's a way to do it with Skype, it'd be so fun to there's so many people that I would love to have on.
Like who? Like people you know?
Just people I know, people in the industry, people who also edit, people who do this very similar things to us, but either are working for someone else's company or who the fuck knows. It'd be interesting to get different perspectives, and but we'd have to Skype them, and I just feel like Skype conversations are they're good one-on-one, but I feel like that'd be a hard thing to keep a really interesting conversation going
with 3 people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Difficult. We'll think about it.
Yeah. Let's ask. I don't know. Espen feels good.
Yeah.
Souls would be really interesting.
I just thought of that right now. I was
Yeah,
just trying
no,
to think I was like, I can't just say one example.
No, and the rock climbing people as well.
Yeah, exactly. Someone else starting a business? What a great idea.
Yeah, it is actually.
Why not? Because we're I feel like we're friends with the people we're working with.
I think so, and you're right. It's more material. It's more things to do, so that we don't have to come up with bullshit to talk about.
Cut to bullshit from this episode now.
Then we're back. Oh my god, that's gonna be so much work. I'm not cutting to anything there.
Okay.
Fuck it.
All right, let's end this thing.
All right. Arlo. Boy. Oh yeah, do it before he comes.
Happy Halloween!
Oh my god. Boom. Arlo, it's okay. It's okay. Arlo, are you okay? Arlo, are you okay?